My name's Mosh Balogun. I would say I'm a skeleton writer, creative director, and designer. It's a tough question, man. I think I've never really found words to be like enough space. So I would say like with clothing that provided like more space or like a bigger boundary for me to be able to really express a lot of these things. And I genuinely feel like clothes is like one of the biggest billboards that we have to kind of present ourselves. And it's very personal, like the choice that we when we choose to wear certain clothes or certain pieces, it's a very personal choice there. So I feel like in terms of the inspiration, it was just really looking for more space, like to draw, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, clothing was something that I found that I was able to do that. Educational. I found the journey to be very educational, and I think I've learned a lot about myself actually, what my flaws are, but also what my powers are as well. I mean, I think one of the things that is valuable for me is that moment where you can say something or do something so confidently, and you learn about it afterwards, and you realize how much you didn't know about that thing. And I think it's just about enjoying being wrong, because it provides the space for you to like learn and to realize how much you actually didn't know. So for me, that's my journey. What makes the brand unique, I would say, is that we're not a fashion brand to start with. Like, we're not a conventional fashion brand in the sense of the word. We are basically visual story creatives, and we've all got together to really outpicture our skill sets, what we love about visual stories, what we love about visual narrative. And it just so happens that one of the mediums that we're using right now is clothing, and we're able to show a lot of that narrative through our clothing. And yeah, we're just a group of guys or girls that share a space that we all are happy to be in. Ooh, I mean, if I'm honest, I didn't. And I have, well, yeah, I didn't. I have now, but I didn't to start with. I think I just had something to say and I said it. Everything else kind of came afterwards, so it seems anyway. But I think that's the beauty of ideas. It's really giving it time to develop. I think it's more a case that it's kind of I've gradually understood that I'm really speaking to myself, and I'm speaking to people who would get geeked about the same things that I get geeked about. I'm speaking to people who can be in a room together and they can potentially like busy tone their family member if they call them, because they're so invested in the conversation that we're having, whether it be about references from films, whether it be about the 5 minutes of one particular scene in one film. Do you know what I mean? Whether it be just be about how a creative was able to achieve this, why they did it. And yeah, I suppose that's who I'm speaking to. And it took me a while to really kind of come to grips with the idea that ultimately I'm speaking to myself, but there's a lot of people who share similar thoughts to myself. So yeah. The biggest light bulb moment for me concerned with the brand was when I finally kind of realized how transferable a lot of the things that I've kind of been thinking were, and how much it didn't really just necessarily fit within the realm of like fashion. How this process language is a language that can kind of be spoken through any industry and needs to be spoken. And I think it's just the language of humans in general. I think if you look at the brand's sigil, it's spears and Wi-Fi symbol, and that kind of basically demonstrates or displays the process from like the earliest stages till like the present till now. And I think that represents us. I think in any industry or anything we choose to kind of like put our minds or our hands to, there's a process to it. And I think that process is one that I'm choosing, or I'm able to display through the brand. And yeah, watch this space, so you'll see. Give yourself time for your idea to really marinate and develop in your brain. Don't feel rushed or pressed to know exactly what you're trying to say. You could feel so passionately about something, and just because you can't communicate it to someone else in a way that they can understand doesn't mean you don't know what you're talking about. So to entrepreneurs, I would say just give yourself time to develop, but constantly stay on path in terms of thinking about your idea and allowing it to develop and allowing new information to come in, and just trying to take in as much inspiration from as many different places as possible. Another piece of advice I would say is don't try to do anything on your own. Definitely try to build your tribe, try to build your team as early as possible. Figure out what your strengths are, and own them. Because a lot of the times I feel like what people do, or you can do, is try to spread yourself out over too many different things, and you end up thinning yourself in different departments, and certain departments may suffer because you're trying to do too much. So I would say definitely let the people who are super saiyans in a particular department, let them do their job so you can do your job. So that's the advice I would give to entrepreneurs, is just try to not stretch yourself too much, and try to just really give yourself the best opportunity to do what you're good at the best capability that you can do it at. Do you know what I mean?